Change your diet, change your life, change the planet.
Good afternoon. I'm standing on the banks of the Hudson River, 200 miles north of New York City, about 60 miles from the headwaters at Mount Marcy, the highest point in New York State. This area of New York is called the Adirondack Mountains. I just spent 4 days coaching at the Albany Running Exchange trail running camp a few miles away from here. It was a great opportunity to connect with a whole bunch of novice trail runners. The biggest thing that I noticed over these 4 days was that most people's headwaters start dirty. They start with a polluted idea. Instead of starting with crystal clear, fresh rain falling on the summit of Mount Marcy or snow melting on Mount Marcy and then trickling down and eventually forming a little brook and then a stream and then bigger and bigger bodies of water until you get where I'm standing now, and then eventually the mighty Hudson cutting through New York City, a mile wide. Your headwaters are very important. How does your stream of consciousness start? What is the first drop of water? What is the first thought that hits you, that defines you? Because by the time the water gets to New York City, it's too late. You can't stop it, you can't change it, it's got too much power. But the closer you can get to the headwaters, the more you can impact that flow, that current, that channel, your personality, your habits. So over the course of these 4 days, I saw so many women beating themselves up, comparing themselves to others who might be faster or fitter or thinner and saying, I can't run trails, I can't run uphill, I can't run at all, I can't even walk up this hill, I want to go home, I'm too heavy, I'm too this, I'm too that, I'm no good. And then I watched them running, and you can see what they're doing inside of their heads, beating themselves up, calling themselves names. Their headwaters are polluted. The trickle, the first drop, is a polluted idea. So what I was working with them on was not trail running technique, it was not fitness, it wasn't even diet, a little bit diet, I have to admit. But it was mostly about helping to clean up those headwaters, helping to clean up those initiating ideas, those initiating thoughts that eventually become the mighty Hudson and overwhelm you with pollution. What are you saying to yourself when you're out running? What are you saying to yourself when you're on the couch and think that you should be running? What are you saying to yourself when you're eating the big bowl of pasta at the restaurant and you look over and there's somebody eating a salad? What are you saying to yourself? What are your initiating thoughts? Are your headwaters clean or are they polluted? Are you beating yourself up? Are you making yourself wrong? Are you comparing yourself to other people? These women were watching me eat salads and drink smoothies and eat fresh fruit over the course of 4 days, and then they saw me out there running, and meanwhile they're eating what most people would consider very healthy food, but all grain products, lots of cheese, lots of meat, but it was very well prepared and they considered it healthy. And then they looked at what I was eating and they kept comparing themselves, and in that comparison they were always losing. Or those that didn't lose the comparison had to make me wrong. They couldn't just let me eat my salad. They had to make me wrong for eating salad. I'm a freak, I'm crazy, I'm deficient, I'm boring. How, nothing you eat tastes any good. How could you live like that? So beware of comparison. That's where all fear comes from. There can be no fear without comparison. There can be no doubt without comparison. Either comparing yourself to somebody else, comparing yourself to who you used to be, or comparing yourself to who you think you should be. All fear, all breakdown, all regret comes from comparison. That's a train going along the Hudson. The tracks go along the other side, and it's really cool. It's like a dinner train that goes through the Adirondacks. Those first thoughts, those seeds that you plant in your own mind, create you eventually. They accumulate and build momentum. They have power. So let's clean them up. Let's clean up your headwaters. Be careful of comparison. Don't beat yourself up. Allow yourself to start where you are. Allow yourself to be who you are. Don't think about who you used to be. Don't think about who you want to be. And don't think about who you think everybody else thinks that you should be. Just be you. And take one step at a time. Put one foot in front of the other. Clean up your headwaters, and before you know it, 200 miles downstream, you're going to have this raging river of possibility and of positivity and of success. Okay? That's my journey. That's what I'm working on. And I encourage you to do the same thing.